Oh, hello. Yeah, wasn't sure if I was going to go live tonight, but the opportunity presented itself, so I thought I'd hop back in, try to make sure I keep these villagers safe until I figure out where I want to put them. How we doing this evening? Oh, not bad. I took the day off tomorrow because my daughter has the day off. I don't know that we're really going to accomplish much. Maybe at least go to breakfast, something. You guys are definitely going to die. I swear, the last time I was here, the villagers were they were all like penned up, and then I get back and they've escaped. So somebody else must have been here to release them or something. I don't know. But I don't see any signs of other people being here. Yeah, berries. I also was thinking about putting in a floor, getting some flooring this weekend, and replacing the flooring in one of the rooms. Ah, yeah, just adjusted that. It's kind of hard to see in the little dual window. Let me go check it. We get to a safe spot. I'll take care of that. Yeah, our whole house kind of, but I don't really want to do the whole thing. I have to think about what I wanted to build this trading hall, how I wanted to build it. Yeah, we have some dark uh, laminate throughout the whole house, and I've put down laminate before, so we'll do more. But there's this stuff called life proof. There's stuff called life proof, which they sell at like Home Depot and some other places, and it's a thicker laminate, but it's easy to put in because you just cut it with a you just cut it with like a box cutter, and so it's very quick. You literally just lay down a row. When you get to the end, you just score the piece with a box cutter and then snap. And then you go to the next row. You start the next row with that piece of that you just snapped off and just keep going. A lot easier than having to use a saw. Try to spawn proof at least some of the chicanery. Welcome in. Do I have any other torches? How many fireworks? Only 41. LVP. Is that like linoleum? Luxury vinyl plank. Oh yeah, that's pretty much what same stuff. The got like the underlayment already connected to the bottom of it, so you don't have to put down addition. Looks yeah, it looks like wood. Snap it in there. You got to get the right things to mallets to snap them in. But take off if you have baseboards or quarter round. It's a floating floor. Covered up. Yeah, we don't really like this dark color, but I put it down pretty good size area before. Honey. I thought that it was discovered. I guess maybe it was honey and like leftover wheat or something like that. Grains in a bucket. You know, figure they left it somewhere, and then it for honey, water, and yeast. Nice. That's like mead. I had to end up in a spot that doesn't have any sugar cane around. If I start building a trading hall, I'm gonna want books. Yeah, I've been around the block for a bit, so I've certainly had my share of different types of alcohol, including mead. Yeah, my not that I was ever a huge drinker, but like the bigger drinking days are well behind me. It can be fun, but then you end up doing stupid things, and going out and doing it is expensive, but drinking at home is kind of sad. Unless it's just like one or two. I'm just going to clean up this area around this village. Oh, that was part of a structure. Whoops. I'm going to pick a spot to start building some. Then I really like to make some lecterns and get rolling. That'll do it. I don't know if I missed earlier message. It's like sometimes when you have kids, like this is kind of dumb. Why would I'd like to be able to like take care of them if something happens or something. That happened to us one time when our oldest was really young. He had an allergic reaction, but we had all been drinking. We didn't have a ton, but we had a couple, and we were like, who's going to take her to the hospital? And after that, it's like, okay, we got to be a little bit more wise about this. I'm also going to need sheep because I'm going to need beds. What is this? A hill? I think I'm going to need a hill. What's that? Well, let me think. Where should I move them to? This spot looks. $70 over 100. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty high. Welcome in. I'm gonna make a flat area. I'd like something that would be accessible to everybody. So maybe I'll just use like ladders for people to get in. I don't want people to have the same experience I had, where it's like, oh, I can't get to their villagers because they're locked away. Can't open the trap doors or the doors. But claiming also keeps them from being blown up. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, this is way off near the ship I found, and I found another treasure map, so I might go get a second Heart of the Sea. Don't know why I need 2 conduits, but at least one. I'll make one. Then if somebody else wants one. Yeah, this is way north. As you can see, the that Z coordinate, but the Z coordinate 880, almost negative 9,000. So it's pretty far away. I think my house was at negative 1,400. So or like 8,000 blocks away. Nice. What kind of supplies are you guys gathering? Oh, yeah, I just popped in for a second, and I think when I was picking up my daughter at a cappella rehearsal, and I was like, is that just like a giant cherry tree? It looked like a lot of leaves and wood. Years, sometimes I think they don't last as long as they. They're not a furnace around here somewhere. What's the point of this? Well, yeah. You know, sometimes those repetitive tasks, sometimes they're annoying, but sometimes it's just what you need. Of course, I'm full here. Where's my new base of operations going to be? Good as any. I'm going to want some charcoal Really need to go find some sugar cane. Probably start a little farm too, so that I can have these villagers repopulate themselves. Yeah, but I assume, do we have any idea of how long this world will be in place, and then it would, what, just get blown away for the next season? Eventually? Freud? Is that what the... I like my little house. Okay. I like the sound of that. Let me see. What did I keep? Nobody's in here. There's a fletching table. Okay. A few months. That's good. Going in there. I know that there's nobody in there. Is there just the one guy in there? Oh no, it's two. Great. So I know that I'm not going to get depopulated while I'm trying to work on stuff. That's good. Got a cat stuck in these trap doors. Up here. I was just trying to make sure that my villagers were still alive, at least two of them. Somebody's been at work here, but they must have been here a long time ago, because I have not seen them anytime. Or at least they haven't claimed anything. Maybe we're just not on at the same time. Letty, hello. Well, you know, if they haven't claimed anything, I guess that's just the rules, right? If it's not claimed, then it's up for grabs. As long as I know I've got villagers, I'm going to go back over here. I'm starting to get the lay of the land in my head now. The house that I said was my new base of operations. Is it this one? Yeah. Maybe I'm not getting the lay of the land. Oh, hello. Everybody's week been good so far? We ready for Friday? Keep just making our charcoal though while we're at it. One of these. I was clearing that land. Ready for Saturday? Yeah. Not where I was clearing that. Gosh, I'm telling you, Minecraft is so busted. Chopped as the kid. Yeah, my kids, my one kid that's still at the house, she also has no school tomorrow and Monday. And the customer that I support, they're off on Monday because they're a bank. Well, they're a mortgage servicer, but they think of themselves as a bank. So they keep the banking holidays. Even though I mean, technically I'd still be working, I guess, but probably not. Shopping. Nice. Getting some new like Egyptian 500 thread count. Something like that. It's a nice excuse for that. Blame it on him. Oh, shucks. Now we need new sheets. What a shame. Alright, here comes the nightfall again. Shouldn't have been drinking beer in bed. Guess that's better than smoking in bed. Okay, I really need to do some inventory management here. I'm not paranoid, you're paranoid. Yeah, I'm a little paranoid. I don't like creepers blowing my stuff up. So that's B-Day party? That's nice. The wife, you know, she hasn't really been into leaving the house for months now, so I don't think we'll be doing anything outside the house for Valentine's Day, but I should definitely come up with something to do here. Ice fishing? Nice. I've never been ice fishing. Even when I did live in Minnesota for a while, and they ice fished there. Should have taken the time to hang out with somebody that had the shack and all the auger and all the tools you need. Yeah, I can't imagine where in Texas you might go ice fishing. Not that I'm, you know, that big of an aficionado of Texas, but all the places I've been have not been those type of places. Yeah, Michigan in July. That should be nice. I don't even know. I don't know if I've ever crossed the border into Michigan. The closest I've ever been is like Sandusky, Ohio. Went to Cedar Point one time when I was younger, and then ridiculous. You drive trucks on the lakes? That's cool. So when I was a senior in high school, we decided to. Nobody ever sleeps here. We decided to go to one of the rich kids. Her parents had a condo, whatever. I think it was a condo. They had a condo on the lake, Lake Erie. So we went to Lake Erie for spring break. And if you're familiar with this part of the world, you realize how silly that sounds. It was not a place to be. It was not the place to be at spring break. We went to the lake and it was just covered in like a gray mist, and it was cold, and so we just like hung out, smoked cigars, watched movies, wandered around the town. It was like empty, the town, because it's all it's a place where it's like it's a tour, not I guess yeah, it's a touristy place. You might not think of tourism when you think of Ohio, but you know, it's a place that's only bustling in the summertime. Well, I guess what do we do now? Do I have? I don't have a boat on me. Wrong house. One of these days. What's this one? Oh, there's no chest in here though. know it's not protected. I don't. You've an uncle in Ohio, but you never been? There are interesting places to go here. Where I'm from, here in Dayton, we have like the Air Force Museum. A lot of people enjoy that. There's like um, a bunch of old planes, SR-71s, the like stealth stuff, little space shuttle section. Okay, I might just put a little tiny claim around this. Do I have my? I don't have the shovel. Just to protect the chest. That. Damn. Block swap. I clear it. Just so I can make sure my diamonds stay safe in my heart of the sea here. Okay, I got some weird stuff in here I don't need. That. Really don't need this whole mapping thing right now. Keep those. Make some room here. Get the iron sword from. Must have been from a. Oh yeah. Cincinnati, yeah, that's right down the street. Yeah, we had there. The Dayton Air Show is. I haven't been since I was a kid, but it's usually a pretty big deal. They had like I remember being there as a kid. They had the Thunderbirds sometimes, and sometimes they had the Blue Angels. One time, my dad went to go over talk to some of the guys from the 82nd Airborne because they were there. Because he was in the 82nd Airborne for a little, or not? Yeah, the 82nd. I was in the 101st. There we go. That. Whoops. Grab that. Would be weird. Maybe, probably. I've been to Cincinnati a few times. Like I said, it's not that far. We went to church there when we first moved back home for a little bit. And then when we decided that we wanted to like volunteer at the church more, we realized that we should probably find a church a little closer to home because it was just too much to do that much driving throughout the week. The girls were going for youth on like Wednesday nights, and it was always at least an hour driving down because that's I-75. If you've ever been on that stretch of I-75, it gets really bad in Dayton, but even around Cincinnati, it gets terrible at rush hour. Not like some places in the country, but it's not pleasant. We'll just put it. Whoa. No, we're not too far from Lexington. It's right down 75. It probably takes about 2.5, 3 hours. I'm trying to think of how far Lexington is past Cincinnati. Try to catch up here. This was in Lexington with her baby. Canadians. I've never heard of them. Lexington, they have like the horse park. One of my kids went to go see that with my in-laws. Huh. for the things we're gonna need. I really need some replenish some cows and sheep over here. Oh yeah, this was the other boat that I said was going to be my little. Okay. Yeah. Not that I've spent any time in Maine, but I'm sure it's not like some other places out east. I've been in the DC area a couple times. That's just garbage. What's bubbling? The magma block or something. Come here. Nice. Got ourselves a puppy. Excellent. W stream just for that. Oh god. Yeah, Atlanta. Oh. You have so many lanes, and it's like, why are we not going anywhere? There's so many lanes. I think it was just as bad. I've been to LA like one time, and thought that was bad. We lived in Augusta, Georgia, so Atlanta was like one of the ways that you might get out of the state and head back towards. And we ended up deciding never go that way unless we absolutely had to. Like we were going to we wanted to go to Chattanooga or something on the way. We just avoided Atlanta, and we would not come up 75 anymore. We would go around through the Carolinas and then come up like the east side of Tennessee. Yeah. Yep, Augusta, Maine. I've heard of it. When I was a kid, we had that puzzle that had all the state capitals in it. So I don't know if the rest of my brothers were as familiar with them as I was, but like I was dumb and like I'd quiz myself on the state capitals. Probably drove through your little town. Yep, yep. It was like the puzzles, the pieces had the state names, and then I think when you picked up the pieces, it had the state capitals underneath. If I remember correctly, it's been so long. Guess that's kind of gross. I get the feeling that you're not really a city person, Annie. Even though Augusta, I'm sure, is not like the biggest city. Oh, you know what? I've actually been to Augusta, Maine before, but I didn't actually go anywhere. Brittany, welcome in. I was in Augusta, Maine only because we were transiting through. We were flying to Iraq. I think that was the one. And we stopped in Augusta to like refuel and stuff before we went the rest of the way. Well, at least before we crossed the Atlantic. We flew to Augusta from, let's see, we were in Fort Sill. We must have gone to Dallas. We left Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Maybe it was Oklahoma City. We drove a bus to the city. I think we flew to Augusta to Rome. Didn't even get off the plane. And then we flew from Rome all the way into Kuwait. Now I forgot what I was doing. Okay. Planted my stuff. I really need cows and sheep, but let me finish my little farm here. Did I destroy my axe? I did. Okay. Portland. Yeah, still hate it. We Dayton is not a very big city. It's like one of those cities that people make fun of because, you know, they're like, "Oh, it's like that. This is the city that thought that cities needed skyscrapers, so they built a skyscraper. We do have like 2 tall buildings, maybe 4. There's a couple you can see from like the suburbs, but other than that, yeah, Dayton is not very big. About 80,000 people or 100,000 in the city itself. In the suburbs, there's quite a bit more. It's kind of not fair to compare, I would say. Not that I really care, but a lot of bigger cities, they've absorbed all of the towns and things around them. So if you include that, Dayton's quite a bit bigger than that. But the actual city portion is only about 100,000. 30,000? See, that's not that small. Our little suburb here is about the same size. Maybe Dayton is 120. I don't know. We have like, when I was a kid, I know we had about 80,000 here in my town. And there's a couple other of similar size. Yeah. Houston, that's a real city. A real one. I'm gonna wait for that copper to come back. I like the quiet towns, Annie. When we lived, it's funny how like sometimes you can live in a spot where it feels like small, like small, whatever, near the woods, but really you're just on the outskirts of the suburbs. We lived at the dead end of a road one time, and it was like trees on 3 sides of our yard, and I enjoyed that. And then in Augusta, it was not like that. We lived in this neighborhood that had like just 80-foot pine trees everywhere, and it felt like you were in the forest. It was nice. Oh, I don't have any wheat yet to lure you in. That's nice. The quiet life in the woods. I have an aunt in Oklahoma. She lives in a small town, quite a ways away from the bustle of the city there, Oklahoma City. And the challenges are like they'd have to drive 30 minutes to get to the grocery store, and the grocery store was kind of like just a convenience store that was a little bit bigger than normal, like an IGA type of thing or something. Yeah, it is, give or take. Give up the craziness, the crime and the dirtiness and the congestion. Give that up. And you take the quietude and 45-minute drive. I think it's a fair trade. Okay. Put that back. Yeah, that makes sense. Uh-oh. Or I can do that just to make it look. Basics. Nice. That's funny. I guess it's my fault for standing that way, but seems a little that it would put it sideways like that. Wait. My gate. Put a gate. No. I've never been to Mexico. Closest I've ever been was when we lived in Sierra Vista, Arizona, which is only about, I think, 10, 20 miles from, oh, what was the city on the other side? Douglas? Douglas? Not Douglas. City on the Arizona side. There was another city on the yeah, things happen. One of these days I'll get to go. But then you hear all the horror stories. And they're like, well, the touristy places are fine. And then it's like, well, no, they're not. I don't know. You only live once, right? Isn't that what they say? Welcome back. Got some wheat going. Now I really need to think about where I want to put these villagers once I start breeding them. You guys got any ideas for Brittany? Sure, I can come help you. Stand by. Mossy Cobble? Bring any more. Be back in a moment. about getting a PC soon. Definitely different on a PC than on a console playing Minecraft. Of course, a lot of money. Welcome. Mossy cobblestone, which means I'd have to go find some moss. Hmm. Oh, that's. Oh. Gonna kill my dog. That was close. One of the giant spruce biomes, and they would have the mossy cobblestone everywhere. That's a good point. Kind of wanted to save these rockets for getting back to my main house. I could do a little exploring while I'm here. Alternatively, yeah, that's what I was saying. Is I don't have. If I could just find one block of moss, or if I could make some, you know, I could just make as much moss as I want, then make as much mossy cobblestone as I want. Oh. If I replace this hay bale, do we think it's okay if I steal it? I'll replace it. I gotta be careful if I want to grab sheep in this area because there's wolves everywhere. Hmm. I was gonna say, or I could at least find. Oh yeah, I am very far from my lush cave, but there could be another lush cave around. Ouch. Expected that. Yeah, um I went off Letty because I was having issues trying to like find villagers. And so I just flew off way far away. Like my coordinates is around negative 9,000 right now. It's 9,000 blocks north. It's about 8,000 blocks from my house, or 8.5 or 7.5. I don't know. It's pretty far from my other house. Oh, that's interesting. I guess you know it's not first, and it's just about trying to get somebody something that they actually need or want. They want cows, sheep, then this farm here. And I can start breeding these villagers. Such a cheapskate. Just be like, oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you might like it, but you really need this. What you have is good enough. Or shouldn't you be saving money? Locking myself in. That's really smart. Oh, that thing's about to run out. I guess I could be like other people and just have crafting tables everywhere. I tend to be a cheapskate too until I finally like give in and think, oh yeah, I really this thing, and then all of a sudden it's like money is no object, and really it is an object, and I shouldn't be like that. I'm making a little terrace here for the animals once I find some. Yeah, I mean, crafting tables are so easy to make. It's really, and then you leave them somewhere, and then you need to find one, or you need one in the moment, so you just make it. It just takes one block of wood, turn one log into some planks, and then those planks into a crafting table, and voila. And then you forget that it was in your inventory. Yeah, buy it nice or buy it twice. For some things that really matters, like things like tools. With electronics, it can be like that with like computers and things, just because it will become obsolete if you don't buy something close to like what's the standard right now. Because then next thing you know, in a year or two, whatever you're trying to do on it, it won't even be possible because all the new things require the latest whatever, or like this much RAM. Shop goes in the cart. Well, we had a bad habit, and I'm going to use the royal we, even though I don't think it was me, but we had a bad habit. We had a shared Amazon account so that not everybody had to go by Prime, and then, but we get in the habit of putting things in the cart and not putting them in like a wish list or the save for later thing, and then somebody would accidentally like buy them, or we'd use the other person's credit card or something, or send them to the wrong address. Eventually we're like, no, we got to have our own separate. Not me and the wife, but between us and like a sister-in-law or somebody like that. Yeah, I was just reading about game controller, the analog stick, and the program, or maybe it was just an ad, but it was about the programmed obsolescence of the analog stick and how a lot of them only last for like a year or two. And then I was reminded of it as we were playing the Switch, and the controller started acting funny. Okay, that should be enough. Bibbles! Congratulations on the degree. I see that it says Dr. Pipples. Congratulations on that. Your families must be proud. JBW, welcome in. Alright, I think it might be time to... Wait, do I have one on me? How's that? Where's my... I had a furnace on me, though. That's silly. I'm just going to make a crafting. Put it off to the side here. Need that many. Probably not. Couple trapdoors. Yeah, I am a little paranoid about my animals that I don't even have yet. Like getting in the way, don't you? Get out of the way, dummy. There we go. Maybe I shouldn't talk to the dog like that. He could save my life one day. He already distracted that little midget. I mean, that's wrong. Baby zombie. 64 trapdoors? Yeah, probably, probably not. Hey, Letty, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I don't need 64 trapdoors. And I don't need accidentally to make 64 crafting tables either. It's so crazy because I think with the shaders I have a settings where the caves are lit up extremely well, just so that the dark isn't that dark, but clearly it doesn't work out here. Still gets very dark here. Dog is gonna kill himself. There he is. Alright, let's make some more of these. Nope, still not that many. Yes. Was that my dog or was that just a random wolf out there killing zombies? Keep throwing my stuff. Gonna need a gate to let the animals in, duh. Then trap door here. So I can come and go easily. Yeah, yes it is, Annie. I don't listen to my own advice apparently. Kurt, welcome in. Anybody want to see if anybody wants to sleep now? 2 out of 3 players. I just need one more. Could probably make that something. What's a cinematic camera? Why? That's a good one. I'll use that one. Drop item with offhand. Yes, now Q does nothing. I did it. Yep, yep. Couldn't hit that by accident. Put a trapdoor just here. For some reason, that's not the one I hit. Like, even though it is also right next to the W, I rarely hit that one. Okay. See a spider off in the distance. Now I have a spot for animals. I have a spot for a farm there. Maybe I could just dismantle some of these houses, the unoccupied ones, and use all of these building materials. Nice. So you were taking screenshots and you didn't know where they were going. I mean, I don't know where mine would go either. There, I took a screenshot, but I don't know where. You had to Google it. Is it in like the Minecraft stuff, or did it go to like some random Windows like pictures? Or wait, like a dog's telling me that I shouldn't be tempting fate like that. This R. Okay. Isn't okay. Here we go. Yeah. Get you someplace safe. I don't know if I needed to feed him to keep him from. Idle expert, welcome in. Oh, you think in Bedrock it saves in the launcher? I have no idea. I think when if I took a screenshot, the only screenshots I took was when I was in like a realm, and in the realm you can just, it's like easy to access the screenshots you take there, and it just knows exactly where they are, because you can add them to your realm stories or whatever. It is the tall one. Wait, what am I doing? Why did I come here? I think I wanted to make more charcoal. Want more of these. I feel like that's a difference in Java and Realms was glitching today. Were you around the other day when it was like completely inaccessible for a while? I was originally going to be in the realm, but I had to switch to the SMP because I couldn't get into the realm. I think it was like not just my realm. I think it was. Yeah. I wonder if it has something to do with. Actually, I have no idea. I have no idea where I'm going with that statement. Dog likes the rotten flesh, right? Where'd it go? Yeah, worldwide. Yeah, something about I don't know if Minecraft, like, let's see, Minecraft was bought by Microsoft, so I don't know if Microsoft hosts it in its own like Azure cloud or something. But maybe they have it under provision, like they don't give it enough resources, and then it spikes and then it runs out. I don't know. Another thought besides mossy cobblestone, although that certainly can be a good portion of the build, is I've got all this sand. I'm sure there's gravel. I can make concrete, and then I can make it whatever color I want too. Look at all this sand. None of this is the what is that kind of spruce forest called? The one with all the podzol and the aha. 3, 4 cows. This is a nice way to get started. Come on, guys. Hello? The cow was like not interested. I mean, it's real easy to make the concrete powder, and then you just have to get it wet to turn into concrete. And the nice thing is, even after that, you can break it and then just put it back down, and it's normal. So you can just make a bunch of concrete, make it wet, and then you can put it back however you like it. Because before you set it with the water, it just falls like sand. But it's, to me, because it's sand and gravel, those are pretty abundant. And then you could just use dye to make it whatever color you want. It's a lot easier than trying to go find. See, that dog is trying to herd this cow for me because he keeps getting distracted. Easier than going after like the woods from the nether, or some other special blocks that are. If you want purple, you can just make purple. Cyan, you can just make it. Or blue, green, or whatever. Come on, cows. What are we doing? they're really annoying me. I should have grabbed some leads or something. I don't think I have any. And you know what? I haven't even seen a trader the whole time I've been over here. They're supposed to show up on average. Yeah, I'll just keep them close. Yeah, I think both of the game versions have their own quirks and oddities. People like to say bug rock and all that stuff, but I don't know if that's really true. It looks like I lost one. Oh no. Don't fall down the hole. I see you. Turning around. Yeah, I think you need string and slime balls, or maybe not anymore. I think that's what it used to be though. So look, no slime anymore. Oh, that's nice. It's like they're making things easier for us, because now you can craft. In the latest version, you can craft saddles, and in the next one, you're going to be able to make um, name tags. They're just like, why make you have to fish for these things when, or find them in chests? You can make them. Maybe that means they'll make new or other rare things. I don't know. Come on. Yeah. Yep. I've been there. Either fishing or looking for shipwrecks and that sort of thing. Well, I got three. 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Oh yeah, that was me too. The first, like when I think even when we started the realm earlier last year, I was like, what? All I need is planks now? Okay. Even though I'm not really any closer to having a mending villager. I mean, I guess I sort of am because I have sugarcane, I have cows now. This is still a good, productive evening, I think. I'm gonna feed you too, even though your buddy is missing. Oh, there he is. Progress is progress. And I can keep thinking about what I want to do in terms of the trading hall, what I want it to look like. There we go. But it is midnight, and I should probably call it quits here. But I have villagers safe. I got cows. I have that. Maybe next time I will go looking for a lush cave. I can go check that. Sometimes you find moss in the ships too, though. There's nothing there, and I don't think I have any here or there. No. Dripstone for some reason. I can make myself a mud. I can make myself a terracotta mud farm. I could. That's another thing you could. If you've never done that, you can make terracotta in any color you want. You don't have to go find the trail ruins. Just use the mud farm idea, and then throw the whole blocks of the whole blocks of mud in here, and they come out terracotta, and then you can dye it, and then you can fire it again with the dye, and then it makes whichever color. If you fire it, that gives it the pattern. But if you just mix it in, it's just a color. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a night here, Annie. Thank you again for the heart meat. Uh, dead dies. Good night. Morning, don't you? Probably shouldn't be up till midnight watching the curly haired nerd playing Minecraft. Good night. And Anyone out there on the other apps, well, good night to you. Thanks for stopping in. Consider giving me a follow and a like, and I will catch you next.